This is an opinion piece from John Kerry and Ro Khanna. It was in the New York Times. And the title was a bit misleading. It says, "Don't let China win the green race." And I read this piece, and I got kind of really passionate about it because, what it talked about was there's China and Japan, Germany, the United States are the top 4 in terms of green technologies, implementing green technologies, creating a green grid, pushing electric vehicles, and all the stuff that we talk about on this show. And they are in that order. So the problem here is the United States, and we've known this for years, the United States accounts for about 5% of the world's population, but we continue to consume between 25 and 27% of the world's resources, and we are one of the largest per capita polluters and waste generators on the globe. We also consume a shit ton of electricity, and we pump a lot of greenhouse gases into the air. We're really not good neighbors, and I'm sorry about that, Mark. So the thing is, we know beyond any doubt, other than people who are paid to say otherwise, that this is coming back to hurt us. It's not just an energy race for the hell of it. It's not just transitioning to green technologies because it's fun and exciting. We really need to get off of fossil fuels, and we need to transition toward these technologies. So I was reading this article talking about how China has surpassed us in renewable energy technology. They've done 150,000 patents in the last year. 30% of the world's patents came out of China. 100,000 patents in Japan. The European Union was 75,000. And what it comes to the question of what are we doing here in the United States? We're bickering and arguing as to whether or not global climate change is actually real. It is. And we're going to be the big losers, and we're going to be surprised when we no longer have a planet that we can live on. And the thing is, what really, really, really pissed me off is that when we were challenged by Russia and we wanted an arms race, we put a man on the fucking moon just because it was something to do to prove that we could do it. There was no real benefit in doing that other than proving that we could do it if we all came together and did something important. And here we are facing our own extinction, and we're 4th and arguing whether or not that's even something we want to pursue. It just really pissed me off the more I read this article about how we're losing the race toward transitioning towards renewable energies and green technologies and actually conducting ourselves as global citizens. And that just pissed me off, and I wanted to just rant a little bit on the show because Russell usually does that, and I wanted my share.
Well, the good thing is when these technologies make it more affordable, when it's cheaper to go green than to go brown, it's going to win regardless of whether or not you believe in climate change. And the great thing is we're approaching that point. That's going to be a huge tipping point, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it is, but I still want to believe that even when that happens, there are going to be people who are going to argue about climate change. And I just want to strangle those people.
Yeah, but Tony, people are still arguing if the Earth is flat, so that's never going to stop.
Right.
But,
all right, fair enough.
I don't care what they believe. I care how they act.
Yeah. And hopefully they'll act in their own self-interest once this becomes cheaper. Exactly. There's a friend of mine who also doesn't believe in climate change. He might believe that the Earth is flat. He was asking me for advice on which battery-powered tools, even though he was saying that he didn't want to save in gasoline. I'm like, well, but at the same time, he ended up buying some power tools, and now he's emitting that much less fuel. And those were two-cycle tools. So that's a lot less gook in the air.
Yeah, gas lawnmowers are horrible. Yeah.
And 2-cycle is way worse than 4-cycle because you're burning the oil instead of using it as a lubrication.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.